Welcome to the El Cajon City Council meeting. The meeting is now called to order. I'd like to ask for the city clerk to please call the roll.
All council members are present.
In a moment, I'm going to ask you to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Usually after the Pledge of Allegiance, we have a brief moment of silence. And, the moment of silence was offered as an opportunity for people to silently pray if they want to pray. I've never asked this before, but in light of what happened in Uvalde, Texas this afternoon with 14 children murdered and 4 in critical condition in the hospital and the teacher killed, if you would remember them in your prayers, that might be an appropriate thing to do at this time. I certainly wanted to mention it at the council meeting because it's a horrific event. So would you please stand with me and recite the Pledge of Allegiance? Remain standing for a brief moment of silence after. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The city clerk posted orders of adjournment of the May 10th, 2022 meeting and the agenda of the May 24th, 2022 meeting in accordance with state law, council on housing authority policy. We're at agenda changes. Staff, do you have any agenda changes?
No, sir, no changes to the
Council? Okay. We have 4 presentations on today's agenda. The first item is for the El Cajon Downtown Business Partners. I'd like to invite Darrell Priest to come to the podium and tell us all about this. Yeah.
I'm rushing.
Oh, that's fine. Thanks for telling me. Hi, Darrell.
How we doing? Good.
Good to
We're
see
here
you.
Today. We've been, as you know, we've been El Cajon Business Partners, I think now for 11 or 12 years. We've been looking for projects that would, affect El Cajon and would last longer than us. So we are dedicating the stage that we built in the park, that we paid for, planned, supervised, and then donated back to the city. And this is a representation of the plaque that we're having made. The plaque is currently on a boat from China and should be here shortly. So as soon as they unload it at Long Beach and bring it down here, we'll put the real one up. So we just want to tell you thank you. It's been a great partnership. We really appreciate it. The car shows and the concerts are back at about 75%. And so, hopefully we'll be back at 100% and hopefully at 125% soon. So, again, thank you very much for a great partnership over the years.
Can you tell us a little bit about the stage?
The stage was actually Kathy's idea because we had a temporary stage and we had to take it down and it got wrecked and it was hard to do. And so we wanted to come up with something that would, again, last forever, have all the handicap. So actually, Dan Mannix designed it for us, and we worked with the engineering department, planning department. The city was great to work with, and they expedited it, and we wanted to make sure to get it, ready for this year's concert season. So it's up right now. It's built. It blends in with the park. It looks like it's been there forever, and so we're excited to start using it and having bands. And I think this is our first.
Had three concerts.
Yeah, we've had 3 concerts so far. So yes.
With the new stage?
Yes, with the new stage, and it's worked out great. And Kathy's in the music business, so if I would have built it, I would have built it completely wrong and wrong sized and all that. I mean, if it was a house or an apartment complex, I could have done that. But Kathy is great at that, and she actually plays the drums and all that, so she knows all the dimensions. So it's worked out real good. We've got really positive response from everybody that's there. So, we're excited to see it, last, as long as we do and hopefully longer than us. So, yes.
Well, are you going to give a speech, Kathy?
Yeah, we'll let Kathy talk. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, let's see. didn't really prepare anything, but the stage is a little bit bigger, well, much bigger, wider, deeper than it was, has all the ramps and handicap accesses that we need. We got the facade to melt in with the park, and then we also had some extra of the facade left over, so we filled in the little places on the other benches in the park where they had fallen off and everything. So everything looks really nice and clean in the park right now. It's about a 30-inch stage. The footing on that thing is 36 inches. The footing is bigger than what the stage is. It's built to withstand anything. So I think a 747 could crash into it and it would still be there. So anyway, but it's great. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. Let me see if there's any questions. Or Gary?
Yeah, I wanted to thank all of you for playing a big part in the revitalization of downtown. I mean, I was over there during one of the concerts in one of the restaurants, and it was really hopping. And people were coming, down from San Ysidro and up from, coming down from Encinitas, all over the place. So we're bringing money and business and great people into the city. It's really a big deal, and I really appreciate how you guys run it so efficiently. Thank you. So kudos to all of you.
Of course, you get those large salaries. So
You realize we have one part-time employee, and I think the last group had how many employees?
58.
58, I'm sorry. 58. Part-time, and seriously, not with no joke.
No, I remember.
Intended, yeah. Yeah, and we're actually doing more. So, yeah, so we appreciate it. It's been a great partnership, and our goal has always been to make downtown as positive as we can, and also to bring new people in that normally wouldn't go there and see how positive it is, and hopefully, like I always say, positive makes positive and negative makes negative. Let's get it as positive as we can. So
we're looking forward to a great concert season.
Yeah. Thank you.
22 concerts this year.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you
so
very
much. Thank you, everybody. All right, next, the San Diego County Fair has a video to share with us. Mr. Valdivia, are you here? Hi.
Good afternoon. Thank you again. My name is Luis Valdivia, Marketing Specialist with the Del Mar Fairgrounds and San Diego County Fair. And thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to invite the community to the fair, which is back after a 2-year hiatus. We're very happy about it. The theme this year is superheroes, with the tagline of Heroes Reunite. We're only a few days away from opening the fair after, again, 2 years of not having a fair. We're going to be open from Wednesday, June 8th through Monday, July 4th. We are closed every Monday and Tuesday for a 21-year fair this year. We're doing some things a little different. We are being a little cautious about admission, the number of people that are admitted during one day, because obviously because of the pandemic. So that is one big change. We're limiting admission. We are offering savings during the week. So normally, if you look at the last column, a regular ticket for an adult is $20. Well, if you come on a Wednesday or a Thursday, you have a $5 discount. The same with seniors and youth. There's a $5 discount if you come during the week. Fridays is Kids Day, so that means that kids 6 and 12 come in free. Children 5 and younger come in free every single day. That's something that we've always had. And another big difference is that you need to purchase your ticket in advance because, again, of the admission restriction, both for parking and for admission. So please buy your tickets online. There is no service charge, so don't worry about that. We have found a number of ways of offering savings for the public. For instance, we continue our partnership with Albertsons and Vons, where you can get a $3 discount there. Again, we have our Kids Days, where on Fridays, kids 6 to 12 come in free. With the Fair Tripper, for the cost of the fair, you can ride any of the transportation services for North County Transit District and come to the fair. We continue working with Costco with a pack that saves our guests 37%. Offsite parking, we now have that every single day of the fair at Torrey Pines High School. Normally, we would have that only on the weekends. Now we have it every day. And of course, because we promote and encourage public transportation, we have a ride-share drop-off for those of you who want to come with an Uber, through an Uber or Lyft, or if one of your friends or relatives wants to drop you off, we have a new drop-off area. We have an early bird Fun Pass bonus. We have actually a Fun Pass where you can, it's like a all-day pass for rides. Well, if you buy it before June 7th, you have some extra rides and games. We have our Pepsi Pay One Prize Days on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and Passport to Savings and Taste of the Fair, and all the other neat discounts that we offer year after year. Some of our program highlights, of course, we have under agriculture and education, we have livestock, we have a very popular garden show, many exhibits where people, bring in their photos, their collections, and they compete for a blue ribbon. Concerts, this year we have 15 out of 21 days for the grandstand. We do have 7 ground stages where we have entertainment every single day. As you can see here, of course, our beverage festivals. We have a beer, a wine, and a distilled festival during the fair. Our comedians, that is something we started a few years ago, and it's back this year. And of course, the food. I know everybody's wondering what the new food item is. We don't worry about the calories, so we have the Hulk. Some of our food offerings are theme-related. So the Hulk is by Funnel Cake Express, and that is a double-decker green apple cheesecake funnel cake with whipped cream and caramel drizzle. I'm dying to try it. Then we have the Heroes Medallion Jerky, which is fresh beef jerky emblazoned with comic sayings Zap and Pow. Don't ask, we just offer it. Chicken Charlie's, of course, Kool-Aid chicken sandwich, breaded chicken breast dunked in cherry Kool-Aid sauce on a bed of spicy pickles and mayo. 5-star in my book. And kettle corn, copper kettle, everybody's favorite kettle corn served up with Captain Crunch. Don't kill the messenger. Community heroes. So this year the theme is superheroes, but of course we have some superheroes in our own community. So a couple of years ago, we had a call for entries, call for nominations, to invite the community to submit nominations for people who they consider their next door heroes. Obviously, with this big of a population in the county, it was next to impossible, but we did it. These are some of the names you will see recognized. We selected 30 community heroes, among them Mr. Ernest Rady, healthcare philanthropist, Cadence Mitchell, heart disease survivor and volunteer. Actually, Cadence has hypoplastic, I'm sorry, I went too fast. Cadence has hypoplastic left heart syndrome, which means that she has no functioning left ventricle, and 3 of the 4 Mitchell family members were born with life-threatening heart disease. This is linked to an abnormal gene, so their story is very inspirational as well. In the animal front, we have Ricochet Surf Dog, who was born into the Puppy Prodigy's neonatal and early learning program and now helps veterans suffering from PTSD in a surfing program. And this couple, Kelly and Andy Smysek, with Frosted Faces Foundation, who adopt senior dogs and pair them with senior citizens wanting companionship. So this is the type of categories, the type of people that you will see recognized during the next fair. So that's basically it. Again, we start on June 8th, close July 4th. For more information, sdfair.com, and I'm available for any questions you might have. Thanks again.
Thanks. Let me see if there's any questions. Steve?
I noticed on the list Bonnie Baranoff is one of the 30 heroes. She's the leader of the East County Homeless Task Force, and it certainly is wonderful that you're acknowledging her. Thank you.
We did our best to have representation for the entire county, so I'm glad you recognize that. Thank you.
Else? Well, thanks. We look forward to it. Oh, can you tell us some of the bands that are going to be doing concerts this year?
We have Jason Derulo, we have Shaggy, John Fogerty, Hispanic acts like La Adictiva and Los Tigres del Norte, And it's just a variety of hip-hop and country and Mexican and, everything under the sun. We have 15 different acts this year.
Great. All right, look forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next we have a video by the CTE AME Pathway students. Our city manager, Graham Mitchell, will share with us about this.
Actually, I'm going to bring Dave Richards, assistant to the city manager in my office. He actually was the project manager and the liaison with our very own El Cajon Valley High School, the students and faculty. So I'll let Dave kind of explain the process.
Oh, great. Thanks. Good afternoon, Mayor and council members. Today I'm here to present the video that was produced by the El Cajon Valley High School students and their CTE AME Pathway program. This video tells the city's story about the many dynamic ways in which the city is, and I should say our partners, are providing and addressing homeless services in El Cajon. This is our second video working together with this program, and both experiences have been great, so I'm pretty excited to have them back here again to present this video. Before I show the video, I want to introduce the 5 student members who partake in the video and then also present them with some certificates. So I'm going to have Ryan come down too to help out, hand out certificates. As I call your name, come on up. The director of the video is Jaden Dow. The editor is Ayanda Haji. Did I get that right? Oh, good. Thanks. The 2 camera operators was Samir Issa and Christian Gonzalez. And the production assistant was Edmondo Martinez. Come on down. And I would also like to acknowledge the extraordinary leadership and guidance of Brent Ford, the program advisor, and Michael Badami, I hope I got your name right, of 8 East Inc., who serves as the industry advisor to the program. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and press play.
This morning, we have approximately 375 men, women, and children that are waking up, getting ready to start their day, go down and have breakfast, have morning devotions, and either go on work calls. The families go to work. So we'll have activities here on campus for the kids. That's how many people we have on a daily basis. Our goal is to stabilize a homeless situation. So anyone that is homeless, and we have minor things that would keep them from not being able to come into the program, but our goal is to help the homeless program in East County, in El Cajon, and San Diego County. I've been with the organization for 19 years. I have many stories, good, bad, and different. The success stories stand out for me, and the people that come in and they had just woken up from underneath a bridge somewhere, decide to change their life, and then within a year they're cleaned up and have a job and are moving out, have a vehicle, and are starting their life all over again. 2 different people coming in and leaving.
I am part of Interfaith Shelter Network. It was started in 1986. It didn't begin as Interfaith Shelter Network. It began as a cluster of congregations who wanted to do something to help the homeless. We target the situationally homeless population in San Diego across the entire county, and we provide them short-term shelter as well as we have housing programs. I think our involvement in El Cajon, we've been able to assist some people off the streets. We've been able to wrap them around with case management and address all the issues that presented to them to cause them to become homeless. And then once they're in housing, we stay with them for up to 6 months to stabilize and make sure that the transition is smooth. We had a very interesting gentleman. His name is Daniel. And he went into our hotel shelter program, and he was actually a victim of domestic violence. And so we were able to put him into the shelter. He was also a veteran, and he was matched through the Regional Task Force on the Homeless to several programs.
For me, I experienced homelessness myself, and after overcoming that, I wanted to give back to the community and help others do the same. I think my favorite part of my job is watching people transform emotionally. They come in and they're vulnerable, they're scared, they don't know what their next move is, and when they leave, they're just confident, they're independent, and they're just happier.
Our community has been impacted by these programs because we're able to connect those individuals who are experiencing homelessness on the streets with resources, especially housing resources. So our job as an outreach specialist is to conduct a housing and health assessment, which gives them an opportunity to be put on a system-wide community queue is what we call it, so that they can get matched to permanent housing. I think my work matters because these individuals have lost trust and faith in a lot of people, and I am one of those that helps them realize that they are human, that they deserve the care and the attention that just like everyone else, and I'm just here to help them as much as I can.
Hot Team, we go out every single Friday with various entities, and we go around looking for any of our homeless population, any of our transient encampments, and more or less just provide resources and get them in touch with those people that have the resources for them. So right now we're at the intersection of Marshall and El Cajon Boulevard. It sounds like we have a report of some just abandoned property. We get these from time to time. Some of our transients kind of load up some trash and carts, and we kind of leave it. Once we get here, as long as we determine that there's no valuables, there's nothing that clearly identifies like who this property belongs to, and if it's just abandoned like trash, garbage, soil property, things like that, we get with our public works team and they kind of come and remove the trash.
Our program we work closely with the city of El Cajon to try to get as much information out about El Cajon's programs, which are many and robust, to both housed and unhoused residents as quickly and as efficiently as possible. That will help, more information out there for everybody to know how to get help, where to get help, will close the gap sooner. It's personal for me also because I think in a country this rich, we should not have this problem. It's criminal, I think, that we have the wealth gap that we have, the income gap that we have, and that people aren't paid enough and that people don't get the health care that they need, or for whatever it might be, mental health, physical health, substance abuse, whatever it might be. And what can I do as a concerned citizen to make a difference with that?
So my wife and I are responsible for overseeing the admin and program side of what the Salvation Army does in all of East County, including El Cajon. So we oversee social services, we oversee the recreational services, we're also religious leaders, so kind of the whole gamut. If it's the Salvation Army and it's in East County, San Diego, it's us. We kind of oversee all of it. I think it's a very unique program, and I think it's definitely had a very visible impact. So much, when we talk about homelessness, it's a really broad issue. But one of the biggest things that we need if we're going to help people get out of that kind of vicious cycle is they need support. They need people who care about them, who can resource them, who can be with them multiple days over a long span of time and get them out of that. If you're not from here, if you have no family, no friends, no nothing, that support is just missing. And so this program gets people to a place where they can begin to get their lives back on track, where they can begin to find that success and that value in themselves and in what they're doing. And so this program has been instrumental in getting people out, and it has a really high success rate. Currently, about 85% of those who go through the program, when we do our 6-month follow-up, they are still actively following through on those steps. And so it's a really tremendous success rate with those who are in.
Our ultimate goal isn't just to get someone off the street for a day or two. Our ultimate goal is to get people into permanent housing. And so almost every program that we have or that we offer or that we help fund has that goal in mind of getting someone from the street today and ultimately into a permanent home. I think we have had an impact on helping to curb some of the impact from homelessness. If you look at our track record over the last few years, we've permanently housed over 200 families. That's a big deal, right? There's 200 families that were once living on the streets of El Cajon that are now in permanent housing. Some of that housing includes with support behind them, social workers, additional medical support that they didn't have before. That's pretty cool to me. Any city just needs to have a lot of partners, and we have a lot of great partners: Salvation Army and Homestart and ECTLC and Amicus, East County Homeless Task Force. I mean, Crisis House, I could name more. But all these folks have come together to help create solutions. I think it's important to note that one size does not fit all in terms of solutions. There's a lot of different reasons for homelessness, so there has to be a lot of different solutions.
Oh, that was really well done. Somebody who wants to be the student representative to come up and tell us about this a little bit?
Come on up, Jaden.
Mayor, while Jaden's coming up, you got to know, when Dave and I met them at the high school, they were not intimidated by us. They told us what we're going to do, where we're going to be, how we're going to speak. They were totally in charge. And I've never seen a group of high school students so professional in handling this business. It's just phenomenal. So you'll hear more from Jaden and his team right now.
Hi, Jaden.
So most of my team they've never really worked with the city before. I have personally 2 years ago for the state of the city. So when I was offered the position to be director of this, I knew I was the most prepared for it because I've worked with you guys before and I know how everything goes. And honestly, I wasn't really nervous in doing this because I know my capabilities and I know my team's capability on what we can do. And I just knew that the video that we were going to create was going to be something that was going to be worth watching and worth showing to the public.
That's great. And what were some of your challenges?
Some of the challenges was, honestly, the editing part was a little bit hard because it was hard to communicate on what our story wanted to say and what we wanted to send out as a message to the community. And that was probably it. The filming was considerably not too hard.
Although, Mayor, they did film on their spring break. So while most kids were sleeping in or playing video games, these guys were out walking the streets with our cops and all of our partners, giving their time to us.
That's great. Let me see if there's any questions for you. Steve.
I hope, and are you related to Rich Batamy by chance? Yeah. It's your dad, isn't it? Yeah, okay. I've worked with him. I hope you guys submit this for a regional Emmy. There are categories for these kind of things. Wouldn't that be a great trophy on your wall? I think you should do it.
Will you vote for us?
I will. I will.
Okay. That's a good idea. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
This could be anyone that answers it, but doing this project, what's something that you learned through this process that you didn't know prior to starting it? Is there anything that you learned or discovered?
Yes, I learned how to be better at time management. This was one of the biggest projects I've worked on, so it was hard for me and my team, especially the editor, Ainda Haji, to really work with his schedule. Keep in mind we have school, extracurriculars, and many other stuff, but we were able to make it done, or Ainda was able to get it done.
Well, you did a fantastic job. I thought I was watching a professional news report on 7 o'clock news on Channel 7 or Channel 8. So you did a fantastic job, and I'd be proud. I think I speak for the rest of the council and the mayor that we'd be proud to share this on social media and our website and everything. It's so professionally done, and we haven't had this story told like this in video format and interviews with all the work that we're doing with regard to homelessness. So thank you for volunteering your time because instead of having a nice spring break, enjoying your time, put this on your resume for the rest of your life, guys. Fantastic job.
Hey, who's going into TV and film production? Yeah. And Graham told me he's getting an agent, and he's going to give us another 6 months before he goes off to Hollywood. So thanks a lot for that.
This was extremely professional, and I'm proud of every one of you. I expect to see you at the Academy Awards in 10 years.
And actually, you have a son who's pretty high up in Hollywood, isn't
Yeah, he's a film executive in Hollywood and also a director.
He's lived up. Didn't he go to high school in here, right here?
Yeah, he went to Grossmont Middle College and then to UCLA, and now I'm getting my money's worth on all those parent loans.
Thanks, everybody. We really appreciate. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, was there? Oh, Michelle, I'm sorry.
Don't forget about Grandma here. So I echo everything that my colleagues have said, and I think you did a wonderful job. My question to you is, did you know about this issue as in depth before you made this project?
So I'm always around the community. I'm always doing stuff around El Cajon, and I kind of knew there was a problem, but I never really knew what solutions our city offered.
And were you surprised at how much is available for those who want the help?
Honestly, I wasn't surprised because I know the city, and I know that they like to tackle problems like this, because if we tackle problems like this, it'll truly make our community better.
And how about some of your colleagues? Did you guys realize that there was so much out there, or what they were doing? Mm-hmm. Right. Thank you so much for your work on that. It was beautifully edited. It flowed, and it really highlighted those areas that needed to be highlighted. Well done. And definitely, if it comes up, I would vote for it. And I want to share it. So if we can get that going, I do a lot of social media, and I'd be willing to share it to everybody, because this is the story that needs to be told. And it isn't coming from a government official. It's not coming from a service provider. It's coming from you guys. You put it together, and it just really tells the story that we've been trying to tell, but they don't want to hear it from us. Having it come from you guys is so much more impactful. Thank you.
You know, I just wanted to tell you to pursue your dreams on this, because clearly you all have incredible talent. And my son was where you are right now. He's 31 years old, and he's co-producing actually, a Batman movie, animated, coming out in 2023. So, and he's just a kid that grew up in El Cajon. So there's no reason you can't do the same. The opportunities out there are endless. Just make sure you pursue your education.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Let's have a big round of applause for the whole team. And because I like you guys, you don't have to stay for the whole meeting. We got to get back to school, actually. Good. You had your excuse already. Okay, good. Thanks, everybody. Thank you very much. All right. Lastly, we have a mental health presentation with Marisol. I see you're already here. Marisol Thorne is our Director of Human Resources, and she'll tell us all about this.
Is that going to connect? Well, while we get that, thank you for having me Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, Marisol Thorn, Director of Human Resources. I'm going to go a little bit out of order. I do want to recognize some people that are here before they get a call again. So with us, we have some members of the fire department who have been very integral in what we've done for mental health awareness. They actually had one of their members do a yoga class this month for staff. I also want to recognize our POA members who are here, who have also been very innovative and contributors of mental health, and Sergeant Mike Murphy, who he took it upon himself to get a dog for not only the police department, but Teddy is shared with City Hall as well.
That's a beautiful dog.
Okay, so before I start the video, so May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we have worked very hard with our chiefs, with our POA, the El Cajon Fire Association, as well as other departments to really bring on a robust mental wellness program here at the city. And so what we wanted to do this month was really highlight self-care. And so self-care is essentially just techniques that allow staff to become aware of their triggers, what stresses them out, and then how to deal with that, how to reduce the stress. So this month we have focused on mindfulness, meditation, what it means to get good sleep, and other topics to educate our staff, to give them the tools to really be aware of how they're feeling and how to deal with it ahead of time so that they don't develop anxiety or depression or other mental illnesses. So this video is just going to highlight some of the activities that we've done so far. We're not finished yet. Tomorrow we have 2 fun days. We have golf, which has been incorporated into the city manager's open house, and then Human Resources will highlight all the benefits that we offer now to our staff that have to do with wellness. And then we'll have another fun activity for National Airplane Day, Paper Airplane Day on Thursday. So really those are distractors, and so distracting is a technique for stress. And then we'll end it next week with a walk with the city manager. So those aren't highlighted in this video, but the activities that we've already done are.
Feeling my way through the darkness, guided by a beating heart. I can't tell where the journey will lead, but I know where to start.
The way that I like to be mindful and get back into the zone is actually going to the gym during the lunch hour. I started noticing that during the day I would get a little more tired in the afternoon. So I decided, why not give the gym a try? So I started going, and it just really energizes me, and I feel that now I need less coffee. So I'm able to focus more, I'm able to have more energy, and just being able to get through the rest of the day.
Rosemary, it smells beautiful. It smells good, yeah. I feel better when it smells.
The thing that I do to get in the right mindset to do work that's super detail oriented is to really clean my workspace, make sure everything's organized so I've got no distraction, I can focus on the details.
Wellness and mental health is huge. It's super important to us, as I'm sure it is to the police department as well. One of the things we do is just a daily, we just communicate with each other. We talk about incidents that we've had, even just around the kitchen table, which is huge for our wellness. We obviously have Yara, which I'm sure everyone's familiar with. She's been super helpful in making, bringing spirits up and that kind of thing.
So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself, and I didn't know I was lost.
Searching for a better way?
So again, I just really want to recognize our staff who have participated and assisted this month with providing these techniques. It's really important for us to teach our staff to be resilient and giving them the tools to use these preventative techniques to really not get to a space where they have to go to EAP. We obviously have EAP, there's therapy services, and we encourage everyone to seek assistance from medical providers, but really for us to keep our staff healthy, we need to break the stigma and let them know that there's ways to really be self-aware and control some of the symptoms they may be experiencing.
Well, that's great. Let me see if there's any questions for you.
Well, thank you for creating a culture, a work environment of health. And I think your team and the entire city staff has embraced this, and that's a great thing. One of the things that is also very healthy is giving back. And I think you get a lot of good mental health when you do something good for somebody else. Last Thursday, I was at the Grossmont High School Senior Awards ceremony. I think I said that right. And our firefighters were there from Station 8. I think there were some different firefighters at El Cajon Valley. And so our firefighters and our Police Officers Association combined $1,000 each, and they give a $2,000 scholarship at Grossmont, Granite Hills, and El Cajon Valley. That's a culture of good mental health giving back. So we appreciate everything the whole staff does for our city.
Councilman Goebel took my phrase that you've created a culture of health. And here in the United States, we don't have health care, we have sick care. And mental health is stigmatized. And just like our bodies get sick, sometimes we need to get a checkup for our minds as well. So thank you, Marisol, your whole team, to introducing a plethora of ideas of how to stay mentally healthy and be aware and cognizant of it. I think it's going to pay dividends down the road, especially to our first responders and even our public works who have a tough job, interacting with homeless frequently and just the daily grind. So thank you for creating that culture at our city. I highly doubt there's many cities in California that are doing what you're doing, so I appreciate that.
Anybody else? Again, thank you for the whole City Council, and don't be shy about asking the City Council through Graham for any needs that you might have. I think the entire council is very supportive of the direction you're going in.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. All right, this brings us to consent items. Consent items are routine matters enacted by one motion according to the recommendation listed below. With the concurrence of the City Council, a council member or person in attendance may request discussion of a consent item at this time. Council members, do you wish to pull any of the consent items?
Item
Mr.
5.
Goebel? Item 5. Okay. Staff?
No, sir.
All right. Then let's, Angela, do we have speaker cards for consent?
No speaker cards, sir.
Let's go ahead and go to item 5 then.
Item 5 in the staff report, I think there's a typographical error that at least the public should be aware of that I'm aware of. And that has to do with the bid amount of $147,000 for Tier 2, but $11,000 for Tier 1. That $11,000 is not the right number, is it?
No, sir. The $159,000 is a annual fee. So if you were to divide that $159,000 by 12, you'd get a monthly fee of a little over $12,000, and then the $11,500 is also a monthly fee. So typically, we went back and looked at how much graffiti incidents we have per month. There are some months that we're under 500. There's some months we're over 500. So if you were to blend those together, this contract amount that we're recommending for $159,000 is well within what we anticipate spending this next year.
That's fine. And I thank Urban Corps. They've done a tremendous job around town of getting rid of graffiti. More times than not, when I report it in the city app, it's gone the same day, certainly within 24 hours. And that's excellent service by the Urban Corps. I think talking to a firefighter recently who has a friend who works for the city of San Diego living in Alpine, would come down into El Cajon and say, hey, what's up with El Cajon? And you never know what you're going to expect with that kind of thing. And he said, it's a lot cleaner than it used to be. And so more and more people are recognizing the cleanliness and the culture of excellence in El Cajon. That's a city staff-wide culture that I appreciate, not just from Public Works and code compliance and the police department, but all the departments in the city have created this culture of excellence in the city, and we appreciate it.
All right. Do you need us to pull this out and vote on it separately? Or?
No, I'll make a motion to approve the entire consent agenda.
Second. All right, moved and seconded. Please vote.
Motion carries by unanimous vote.
All right, we're now at public comment. At this time, any person may address a matter within the jurisdiction of the City Council, Housing Authority, successor agency to the El Cajon Redevelopment Agency that is not on the agenda. Comments relating to items on today's agenda are to be taken at the time that the item is heard. State law prohibits discussion or action on items not on the agenda. However, City Council and Housing Authority members may briefly respond to statements or questions. An item may be placed on a future agenda. Angela, do we have any speaker cards for public comment?
Yes, sir. We have one from Patricia Wiley.
Come on up, Patricia. Hi.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is my first time to have an opportunity to see how our city council works, and I'm very, very impressed.
Well, we're glad you're here.
I'm also impressed as to the variety of businesses and nonprofit organizations that are working in our community to try to make it a community that is open and helpful and successful for all people. Well, I'm Pat Wiley. I'm representing our local community library, and I'm here to invite you to a party. I hope that you will be available. What we do each year is to have an annual membership party, and of course, this opportunity is for us to meet people that maybe come in and use the library, but we may not know them individually, so we have a chance to meet one-on-one. The other thing that we do, and it's on the thing that was in your envelope, I don't know if you've had a chance to look at this or not, what we try to do is to get ideas and new ways of offering library services to our community. And it's interesting, the variety of things that we do. We both deal with children's programs, teenage programs, adult programs. We deal with giving information out about veteran services in San Diego, legal services, opportunities for individuals who may be homeless, who need to have the information to be able to find their way to what they need in the way of life supports. So there's a lot of things that happen in the library, not just exchanging books, but we also try and exchange information and provide individual help when needed. So I'm asking all of you to take a look, and I think everybody's got a copy of this. Come and visit with us, meet the people that come and use our library, introduce yourself to the local people here in communities. This is one way to have a chance to talk one-on-one, and I think that's really important so that they understand what you as an organization, a city council, is doing for them here in El Cajon. So I hope that if you can, it's going to be June 5th, which is a Sunday. Sometimes that's a difficult day, but it's the day that we have available from 1 to 3. We have a guest speaker who's going to be doing a special demonstration. Plumerias, I don't know if you know what plumerias are, but they're a very, very beautiful plant. A little difficult to get started, but this gentleman knows a lot about it. And that would probably be of interest to those of you who may have a garden going. And then the other thing is we offer, as an organization, to special volunteers. We have a lot of volunteers in the library that are working. We have 2 volunteers that are going to be receiving not a gift exactly, but a thank you for the services. Usually these thank yous run about $1,000 a piece. So it helps them in the next step in their lives, going to school or looking for other full-time work, whatever. But it was just one way of thanking them for their time and their effort and their interest. Do you have any questions at all that I can answer?
Let me see if there's any questions.
Compared to this?
Not a question, but a comment. I have to tell you that my kids love the library. Wednesdays is library day. I have a son that's 4 and a daughter that's 2, and they go with my mother-in-law to each county library, and they circulate each time. And she always tells them readers are leaders. So it's a fantastic kids section you guys have. They love it. And the plumeria person, do you happen to know his name? Is it Mike Atkinson?
His name is Ed Goss, Gauss.
Well, we have another plumeria expert that's my friend, so maybe I'll get him to come out and they can knock heads together about plumerias.
Well, it's not easy, but it's beautiful. They're beautiful plants.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions at all? Well,
No. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Well, my pleasure. Thank you. And I want to thank you so much for what you've been doing to get El Cajon active again. Particularly, we're looking forward to the American on Main Street. That's going to be great.
Yeah, it will be fun.
Yeah, my family has come to this before, and we've always had a good time. So I thank you all for helping us have an enjoyment time here in El Cajon.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. All right, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break, and then we'll be right back to finish the meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and get started again. Mr. Kendrick had to leave us, but we will continue. All right, we have 2 administrative reports on today's agenda. Item 6 is regarding the City Council meeting schedule, and I will ask our City Manager to tell us all about this.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. Typically, in the month of August, we shut down one of our meetings, and we would recommend that if we were to do that this year, we would cancel the August 23rd City Council meeting. However, if there was an urgent matter that came up, we would recommend we reschedule it, but we'd recommend that we go dark on that meeting if that's okay with the council.
Okay, great. So what meeting does that leave in August then?
That would give us the first meeting of August, which I don't have that date in front of me.
Like the 9th?
August 9th,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, great. Sounds good. Let's see. Are there any council questions or comments? Angela, did we receive any speaker cards about this item?
No speaker cards, sir.
All right. Does somebody like to make a motion?
So moved.
Second. Please vote.
Motion carries by unanimous vote of those present.
The last administrative report, item 7, is an East County Advanced Water Purification Update. And I'll ask our staff to tell us about this.
Director of Public Works. Let's see. Just get this going. Just want to share with you this slide about the program schedule. So I'm here today to provide you with an update on the East County Advanced Water Purification Project. At our last meeting, we had representatives from Padre Dam Municipal Water District provide a comprehensive report of the progress of the project. And on May 19th last week, the East County AWP JPA board voted to move forward with construction on the project, by approving a lump sum contracts for phase 1, which is the purification facility, for phase 2, the pipeline that delivers the water to Lake Jennings, and for phase 3, the pump station package. At the same meeting, the City of San Diego representative provided comments on resolving pending items related to the phase 4 of the project, which is the East Mission Gorge Force Main Rehabilitation and Regional Brine Line. This slide shows that the project is on schedule to break ground on June 1st at 10 a.m. And it's going to be at the future site of the purification facility. And just wanted to mention also that Council Member Steve Goebel, it's a representative, El Cajon's representative at the East County Advanced Water Purification Board, and not sure if he would have additional details he may want to share with us today. Thank you.
Thanks. Vice President.
Sure. So let me catch you up on the things that happened at the May 19th meeting, because there are still some outstanding issues. And this is for the benefit of my colleagues on the council, because we can't talk to each other more than three of us without creating a Brown Act violation. So bear with us as we go through this clunky, but it's for the public as well. There are a couple of sticking points still. The city of San Diego does not want to transfer the East Mission Gorge pump station to the city, to the JPA, the Joint Powers Authority, which is El Cajon, the county, and Padre Dam, make up the three agencies in the Joint Powers Authority. That pump station is located at the foot of 125 and Mission Gorge. You probably have seen some maybe 20, 30-foot looking canister, salt shaker looking things there, and that's the pump station. What it does is it pumps sewage up over a grade down into Mission Trails Regional Park when there's wet weather overflow. It's only used a couple days a year. We need that pump station as part of the project. The city of San Diego, even though their city council voted it as surplus land, that no other department wanted it, is not transferring that to us. And we have started the process of eminent domain against the city of San Diego. They don't want us to go to that level, but we must protect the 500,000 ratepayers in East County. Another issue they had was with what's called the residuals agreement. After wastewater goes through processing, there are residuals left over. Those are called centrate and brine. It's the sludge and the remaining things left after the water's been extracted, purified, and sent to Lake Jennings. This residuals agreement was negotiated over a period of 18 months, and it was signed by the current mayor of the city of San Diego and the city attorney. It is a binding legal agreement. But the city of San Diego executive staff is now saying it's an illegal contract because it violates Proposition 218, which says if you collect taxes from people, you must use those taxes for the benefit of the same people. We believe it's a binding contract because it's been signed and executed by all parties. And so when I had a chance to question the executive from the city about what is it that you feel is illegal, and it was the source of funding. But at the same meeting, he said, well, we're not going to use wastewater funds for this. We're going to use water funds. So he solved his own problem. So that should be it. When I asked, so why did your mayor sign this agreement if you felt it was an illegal agreement? And the response was, well, he didn't get the right advice. This was negotiated by the prior administration in City Hall, and those people don't work for that city anymore. And I asked, but the city attorney has been there since 2016. Surely she would not propose and sign an agreement that she thought violated Prop 218. And it was, well, it may not have gotten up to her level. But if she signed the document and approved the document, then you have to own it. And the same thing with the current mayor. I can understand if it was the prior mayor, but this was the current mayor who signed it. I also asked, so does that mean that every time there's a change in administration, that the last administration's contracts could be viewed as illegal? Well, that was the last administration, and we don't have those people here anymore. I also asked, does that mean any future contract that you signed during this administration could be viewed as illegal by somebody else in a new administration? Well, I suppose it could. And these are kind of the questions that really didn't make sense to those of us on the JPA side. The other issue that they have is, the major concern that they have is, after we are done with our residuals, today we put them into the Metro wastewater system. It's a different line, a different sewer line, and our diluted sewage today goes in that line, and it goes out to Point Loma for treatment and then out to the ocean 20 miles or so. With the residuals thing, it's going to be concentrated sludge that's left over, and they don't want that in their pipeline. So that's what we're trying to figure out is where do you want this stuff to go and who's going to pay for it? That's what we're working out. So I think they solved their own issue on the Prop 218 themselves by saying we're going to use the water fund, not the wastewater fund. They solved some other things. We're going forward with the June 1st grand opening, or a groundbreaking, I should say, groundbreaking. And this is something that's important for the people of East County because this will provide 30% of our potable or drinkable water supply for a long time to come. And the rates will be lower than what we are paying today through Metro Wastewater, which is also operated by the City of San Diego. So this is a great deal for the ratepayers of the 500,000 people in East County that use this system. We're on the right track. We don't agree with the East Mission Gorge pump station being held hostage to negotiate a new agreement that we feel is already signed by the mayor and executed and legally binding. But you can imagine if we end up in court, it could delay everything. And that's what we're trying to avoid. So we have a meeting Thursday and Friday with San Diego City staff. We're giving some things that maybe we don't necessarily have to give, but just to keep the project going because time is money when it comes to these things. This is a $950 million project. And the deal is that's a fixed price. That was part of the deal, was it's a fixed price. But those prices that contractor negotiated with all of the subs, those are only good for another 30 days or so. After that, you go back to the market. So we believe locking those in was a prudent move, especially in today's inflationary environment. It was just a good move to lock those prices in now because we know what the final cost is. We believe we'll have our system up before the City of San Diego has its first phase of pure water up. And that's part of the sticking point, too, is who's going to win first because that determines where we send this residual sludge. So we're on the right track. We're unfortunately stuck with some 11th hour issues by a new administration who doesn't like the deal, and we're trying to work through those. I'm confident we're very close, but I think I would advise that we would continue down the path of eminent domain on that pump station because we can't trust the City of San Diego to move at the same speed that we have to move. And time is money in a $950 million job. So I think we're doing great. We're looking forward to a groundbreaking on June 1st.
Sounds complicated.
It's very complicated.
Okay. Did you have anything else to add?
No, that's all. Thank you. I'm just here to answer any questions you may have.
Any more questions for Yasmin? Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Angela, do we have any comments on this item?
No comments, sir.
All right. Would somebody like to proceed with the motion then?
Mr. Mayor, I think for this one, it's just an update, just so we can answer any questions that you may have. No action needed.
Great. There are no commission reports on today's agenda, and item 8 is my activities report. And is as reported. We're at activities reports for council members now. Mr. Goebel.
As reported with a note on the update of the 6 emergency sleeping cabins out at Meridian, they passed the building inspection. Thank you for the Community Development Department for taking a look at those so quickly. What's left is just the roof material to go on and the interior paneling to be done, and we're hoping to get a sign-off perhaps early summer and make these 6 cabins available to women who are homeless, providing a safe space for them to transition to a better life.
Great. That's wonderful. Mr. Ortiz. As reported. Ms. Mitchell.
As reported.
We do have a joint council member report from council members Ortiz and Kendrick. Mr. Kendrick is not here, so Mr. Ortiz, I'll leave it up to you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This proposal that I'm bringing to the council was actually an idea brought to me by taxpayer advocate Jordan Marks. One of our residents, a senior, came to Jordan regarding their property tax bill. As we know that we moved our sewer bills here in the city of El Cajon over to the county tax roll. We were the only city, I think the only city in the county who hadn't done that yet. This is putting the sewer charges onto our seniors' tax bills. It's a big bill. They're not able to make payments on these bills. With that, Jordan came to myself and the city manager and thought of an idea to help out seniors. So if they're having trouble paying the sewer portion of their property tax bill, the city can come in and come help them. The idea is the state has a property tax postponement program where if qualified seniors are having trouble paying for their property tax bill, the state can basically delay or postpone property tax payments, put a lien on the home, but it allows the senior to stay in their home until this home is sold. I'm proposing that we task staff with coming up with some kind of a program that mirrors the state program, but for the sewer portion of the property tax bill. Along with it, I'd like to see if we can come up with some creative way to give them, not give them services, but link them up with some kind of services to help them budget for their sewer bills. This is a brand new. This is brand new, having the sewer charges on the property tax bill. I can't imagine that there's a lot of seniors that are struggling, but there are some. One has already come to us. So it's a way for us to. It's a safety net for our seniors to be protected from losing their homes, and it's a way to grab them. Offer them some services with regard to budgeting, and maybe pair them up with Grossmont Cuyamaca College District and their program for landscaping. Help them come up with some creative ways to lower their water bill. A lot of them have big lawns that they, water their entire property. So, with that, I don't know if there's any questions or about the proposal. Gary's not here; he had to leave early, but please go ahead.
I don't have any questions. Do you, Steve?
Yeah.
I've got some questions. I forwarded them to the city managers just so he didn't have to write these down. And these are things that the city staff could cover in their investigation. But for instance, the property tax bill today, does the state program cover just the property tax portion or everything on the bill is a question that I have. I don't know if you know the answer or...
I'm almost positive that it only covers the property tax bill portion of the bill.
If the city has to file a lien against somebody's house, is the city's lien subordinate to any other lien on the collateral would be a question. Mm-hmm. Are we behind the state? Are we behind mortgage things? What about limited equity in mobile or manufacturers' homes? Who would make sure that there's enough equity there to secure the loan? Who would monitor any awardees for annual compliance of income and equity requirements? Who would qualify the applicants? A couple more questions. So I've sent these to the city manager. These are things which would make a great fleshed out analysis.
I think those are great questions. The other one, I know that the state applies a 5% annual interest payment for the outstanding debt. I'd want to make sure that we're not profiting at all off of any balance that we're covering. It would only just be to maintain whatever administrative fees. So when staff goes through and fleshes this out, I want to make sure that we look at that. Obviously, we're using the state interest rate as a baseline, but maybe take a look at that and make sure it reflects something that we're not taking more than we need to with regard to repayment.
I think Mr. Foley would say we can't just give them a no-interest thing because that would be a gift of public funds, but certainly an amount to recover the cost of carrying that.
Right. And this is, like I said, this came from a senior in our community. Her sewer bill, her property tax bill went up $1,000, and that's a lot of money for a senior who's on fixed income. And the last thing we want is for our seniors to be in a position where they're going to lose their home or be kicked out. So this is a way that we can help them with minimal funds and get them connected with some way to help them manage their finances and maybe come up with the creative ways to make it so we're not having to cover the bill anymore. It's a one-time thing, and then they can be on a budget moving forward. I don't know if city staff had anything to add.
The only thing I'd point out is we did follow with that resident that the assessor's office brought to our attention. without getting into a lot of detail, the property had a lot of mature trees, but watering the trees as if they were still in their early years. So we're working with her to actually bring her water usage down, which will help that. But if council gives us direction, we'll bring forward a proposal that will address the questions that Mr. Goebel presented, as well as the interest rate question.
I'd like to make a motion to direct staff to develop a senior wastewater billing postponement program.
Please vote. Oh, before we do that, Angela, do we have any cards for this item?
No speaker cards, sir.
All right.
Thank
Then can you take the vote? Do you need us to vote again?
Motion carries by unanimous vote of those present.
Great. All right, there are no general information items on today's agenda. There are no first or second readings of ordinances on today's agenda. And we're now at closed session. The city attorney will recite the title and lead us into the closed session.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the City Council. We have two items on the closed session agenda for this afternoon. The first is a conference with labor negotiators pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6. Agency designated representatives are listed. There is a bit of an error here. Mr. Mitchell is also part of that representation party, as well as myself. We split them up because we also have not only discussing those under A29, those unrepresented and confidential employees under Policy 829, but also the executive that includes myself and Mr. Mitchell. And in those situations, we would be disqualified for participating from those conversations, and we would step out if and when that occurs. The second is a closed session for a conference with legal counsel on existing litigation pursuant to paragraph 1 of subdivision D of the Government Code, section 54956.9. The name of the case is Sean Vint versus the City of El Cajon.
All right, then I make a motion to adjourn the closed session. Please vote.
Motion carries by unanimous vote of those present.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to closed session. We'll be back to finish the meeting. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. I'll ask our city attorney to report on closed session.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. The City Council met two items in closed session. The first was a conference with labor negotiations as described in the agenda, and instructions were given, directions given to the negotiators on behalf of the city. And that was item 14. Item 15, conference with legal counsel, was simply a report to update the council, and there's no action taken.
Okay. This brings us to adjournment. The adjourned regular joint meeting of the El Cajon City Council, El Cajon Housing Authority successor agency to the El Cajon Redevelopment Agency, held this 24th day of May 2022, is adjourned till Tuesday, June 14th, 2022 at 3 o'clock p.m. Thank you.